Hey guys, I got an Island of the Blue Dolphins. You asked me to read it for you, so I'm going to read chapter 1 for you tonight. And we'll see what time it is. If it's early enough, we'll go ahead and start chapter 2. You ready? Chapter 1 starts on page 1. Get your book out and be ready to follow along with me. I remember the day the Aleut ship came to our island. At first, it seemed like a small shell afloat on the sea. Then it grew larger and was a gull with folded wings. At last, in the rising sun, it became what it really was, a red ship with 2 red sails. My brother and I had gone to the head of a canyon that winds down to a little harbor, which is called Coral Cove. We had gone to gather roots that grow there in the spring. My brother Ramo was only a little boy, half my age, which was 12. So that makes him 6. He's a little guy. He was small for one who had lived so many suns and moons, but quick as a cricket. Also, foolish as a cricket. For this reason, and because I wanted him to help me gather roots and not go running off, I said nothing about the shell I saw or the gull with folded wings. I went on digging in the brush with my pointed stick as though nothing at all were happening. I'm going to read that sentence again because I didn't do a great job. Let's try. I went on digging in the brush with my pointed stick as though nothing at all were happening on the sea, even when I knew for sure that the gull was a ship with 2 red sails. But Ramo's eyes missed little in the world. They were black like a lizard's and very large, and like the eyes of a lizard, could sometimes look sleepy. And this was when he saw things the most. This was the way they looked now. They were half closed, like those of a lizard lying on a rock about to flick out its tongue and catch a fly. The sea is smooth, Ramo said. It is a flat stone without any scratches. My brother liked to pretend that one thing was another. The sea is not a stone without scratches, I said. It is water and no waves. To me, it's a blue stone, he said, and far away on the edge of it is a small cloud which sits on the stone. Clouds do not sit on stones, he said. No, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Clouds do not sit on stones, on blue ones or black ones or any kind of stone. This one does. Not on the sea, I said. Dolphins sit there, and gulls, and cormorants, and otter, and whales too, but not clouds. Ramo was standing on one foot and then the other, watching the ship coming, which he did not know was a ship because he had never seen one. I had never seen one either, but I knew how they looked because I'd been told. While you gaze at the sea, I said, I dig roots, and it is I who will eat them, and you who will not. Ramo began to punch at the earth with his stick, but as the ship came closer, its sails showing red through the morning mist, he kept watching it, acting all the time as if he were not. Have you ever played with a red whale? He asked. Yes, I said, though I never had. Those I have seen are gray. Well, you're very young and you have not seen everything that swims in the world. Ramo picked up a root and was about to drop it into the basket. Suddenly his mouth opened wide and then closed again. A canoe, he cried, a great one, bigger than all of our canoes together, and red. A canoe or a ship, it did not matter to Rama. In the very next breath, he tossed the root in the air and was gone, crashing through the brush, shouting as he went. I kept on gathering roots, but my hands trembled as I dug in the earth, for I was more excited than my brother. I knew that it was a ship there on the sea and not a big canoe, and that a ship could mean many things. I wanted to drop the stick and run too, but I went on digging roots because they were needed in the village. All right, that's where I'm going to stop today. There is a lot of things that we need to talk about, because there was words that I didn't know. So I am going to take a little time and look at what I read and try to make a picture in my head about it. So I'm thinking and I'm thinking. And what I'm thinking is there's a girl who's about Alicia's age, and she is digging roots to eat with her brother, who's about Alexander's age. Now, why would anybody want to eat roots? Do you think you would? You do, you know. If you eat baby carrots, you eat roots. Ah, now you're figuring it out. Okay, so they make roots or they pick roots, gather roots, and then they take them back to their village where they live, like their town or their community. But it's not big like ours. We have a lot of people. And theirs, they have less. Now, when you hear them talk about a canoe, you know a canoe is one of those little boats that one or two people sit in and you row, row, row to get wherever you're going. This is not that kind of boat, and she knows it. She knows that it is not a boat. She knows that it's a ship. Bigger, way bigger. You know the Titanic is a ship. It had an engine. And we don't know when this story is taking place yet. So we'll have to keep reading and find out more. So the word I did not know, I want to go back to and look at it. It says she's talking to her brother about what kind of things she has seen. And she said dolphins sit there and gulls and cormorants. Now that's how it looks like it might be said. I'm going to, when we hang up, I'm going to go look it up. And tomorrow, when you're ready to hear me read this to you, I'll be able to tell you what that is. I'm going to put it in Google Classroom for you. So what we know is the girl character is still picking roots because she knows she has to get the food so her family can eat. But the little brother is run on. He's ready to go have fun with his day. And that's where we are. We are now on page 4, and there's a big stopping spot. See right here where the paragraph ends, right there, it says, they were needed in the village. I went on digging roots because they were needed in the village. So that's where we stopped. Now, when we get back to school and meet tomorrow, well, not back to school, when we're back in Google Classroom, we'll talk about that part and then we'll add the next couple of pages. We're going to read this book slowly enough that it makes sense, because it doesn't make sense to read a book and not understand it, right? That gets boring. It's no fun. So we're going to learn a lot about an island. Remember, we talked about islands. Islands is land. An island is land that comes out and is surrounded all around with water. So Hawaii has lots of islands. So I'm going to find you some pictures to look at of islands, and then I'm going to look up that word and find out what the heck that is. And when I find it out, I'll put the picture in Google Classroom. And tomorrow we'll have fun. All right, kids, I am ready for bed so that I am ready to work with you tomorrow. Keep working.